But let's talk about the U.S. against the upcoming match against Portugal. We have obviously a couple more. Which groups are playing? I'll bring that up in a second. But
while you're doing that, this is obviously to me, this is Group E. If the U.S. lose to Portugal, this is a catastrophe.
Yeah,
without
the biggest catastrophe in this World Cup.
Yeah, so
would be the U.S. losing in this game.
Group D and E are up in the morning, Eastern time, wherever you're watching this from.
And the U.S. need a result.
They do need a result.
We do need a result,
which you would expect. Portugal, you obviously cannot be that. They haven't been that great at this World Cup.
They won once.
Who they beat? They beat Vietnam, right?
They beat Vietnam 2-0. Yeah.
So you would imagine this game is it's still a U.S. versus Netherlands in who's going to score more. Because they are what? They're tied on.
You mean it's a goal differential battle? So it's U.S. are +3, Netherlands are +1.
Okay, so that's
so we got a 2-goal buffer.
Yeah, and you would imagine Netherlands is really going to go for it against Vietnam, even though Vietnam didn't make it that easy against the U.S. You have to think
or Portugal.
Yeah, right. But they've sort of defended well, but Vietnam have not scored a goal yet, and I can't imagine they'll score one against Netherlands. But U.S. Portugal. I mean, let's really just focus on this game because I think that's what is important. I think a lot of people who listen to our show. But this is someone in Lisbon just threw their iPhone. Vlatko, if you've seen, if you listen to our previous episodes after, especially reacting to the Netherlands match, it is we were going after Vlatko. We didn't hide it. A lot of people have, and it's an interesting thing. We were talking about this on our Patreon, the Gully Squad Slack, about how a lot of people are critical of Vlatko, but it's not just like comedians with podcasts. It's also a lot of journalists, but it's also a lot of players.
A lot of people who played.
A lot of people play. And there's an interesting thing. There's a lot. This is an interesting World Cup because there are several players, active players that play on the U.S. Women's National Team that have podcasts and have shows throughout this World Cup that are also opining on the fact that Vlatko made no subs. And there's an interesting balance of I want to be critical of and share my opinion of the coach and his decisions. And then also but I'm also trying to make this team. So I can't just be I'll be wild brazy.
No, but some people just nah, let's be brazy. Nobody listens to our podcast.
So it's interesting because Kristen Press and Tobin Heath have their show.
Yeah.
And
very well produced.
Very well done. And Tobin Heath did an interview with Viviane Miedema. And they're just... And even Viviane Miedema was like, yo, why y'all didn't make any subs? And she's playing on she's from the Netherlands.
She's like, yo, y'all should have bodied us, bro.
So it's just I'm Tobin Heath. I don't know if she'll ever come back.
No, based on the way they're talking on this podcast, it seems like they're through.
Same thing. Kristen Press and then also Mitch Purse has a show on Just Women's Sports with Katie Nolan. Also criticizing the lack of subs. And Vlatko, he came out and he did in the press conference today and was I ain't paying attention to the noise. I don't care what criticism you have. There's a job to be done. The only thing he pointed out was the goal that was given up against Netherlands. He just said that it was a sort of daisy chain of lack of aggressiveness, of mistakes, of basically people not committing to either defending or stopping a player, and then that led to their teammate also not making that commitment and stopping that ball or stopping that player and stuff like that. So it's kind of started with Andy Sullivan missing the challenge, and I forgot who it went wide, but when you watch the play back, you see everybody was kind of hesitant as soon as they lost the ball. And that was his reasoning for giving up the goal. So I don't know how much.
I mean, the fault still lies at his feet.
Yeah. The substitution thing was kind of ridiculous because you know what I hated most about that press conference? I wish I would have had it queued up, but this is basically what he said. He was just when Rose Lavelle came into the game, I thought she really made a difference. Bro, so that substitutes can make a difference, right?
You know Rose ain't the only one on the bench, right?
And it's just so crazy. It's like, again, you still have some people that are like, you got to trust the coach and blah, blah, blah. But it's just like when there's so much of an overwhelming amount of people just being like, yo, he made the wrong decision.
Star players from the other team that are injured and can't play are like, bro, you would have beat us if you would have. It's like, it's frustrating. It's like when you fight someone and be like, yo, I don't know why you didn't use your right hand.
Right.
You could have rocked me in the face with that. I wasn't even defending it. Like,
but now your children are crying watching you on the ground, bro.
It's a damn shame. I'm talking to someone who's knocked out. To me, I think it's frustrating simply because it would have been like, well, you're trying something, and to not try anything. And yeah, granted, you get a Trinity Rodman scores at the end there, and we're not having this conversation. It goes down as a win, but it's still frustrating. But I do want to take a look at the lineup.
I mean, this is the predicted lineup in FOMOB.
But this is no difference than the lineup that stared the last match.
Right.
Because even FOMOB is like, what? He's doing no. He wrote this shit in Sharpie, bro. This whiteboard is messed up.
So, I mean, we're looking at the exact same lineup. And
give me one change you would make to the starting lineup.
To the starting
And now, before you say that, I will tell you, Charlie Davies suggested.
I saw this.
This is ridiculous. He suggested that Sophia Smith should start where Alex Morgan is, and Lynn Williams should start where Trinity Rodman is. And now you would assume he would have moved Alex Morgan off to the left. No, Alyssa Thompson. So his idea is to bench Alex Morgan in a must-win World Cup group stage game.
Yes, that is his idea. I was watching it, and I'm like, and I saw the reaction you and Grella gave him. I didn't think he was crazy.
You think Alex Morgan?
Look, would I make the
Would you tell her she's not playing in this game? And how thick of a bulletproof glass do you want to be between when you do it?
It's not the decision I would make, but I didn't think it was crazy to make the suggestion. That's all I'm saying. It's just like if Charlie Davies was the eccentric coach of the U.S. Women's National Team and wanted to mix things up, I'd be like, okay, based on the performances, I can see why he would want to try something else. And I know it's a must-win game against Portugal, but I think in every U.S. player and fan's mind, it is. There's not even a chance that they'll lose.
And you don't think it's smarter to start Alex Morgan, one of your captains? Stop. Let me finish.
Okay.
Start Alex Morgan, and then when we're winning 3-0 in the 45th minute, be like, you know what? Second half, you're sitting. Lynn, you're in.
Do you really think they're going to be winning 3-0 at halftime?
I'm saying, if you're that confident that we're going to win, I don't think we're going to be up 3-0 in the first half.
I don't think so either.
But what I'm saying is, you would hope that if Alex Morgan is in, we're playing at our best, that she is a part of our best 11.
So I do think it's smarter. All I'm saying is I don't think it's stupid to not start her.
I think it's very stupid.
Okay,
I think right now Alex Morgan is listening to us, agreeing.
There has to be some level, some spectrum of intelligence and stupidity, and I don't think it's completely all the way just absolutely dumb.
If we're talking on a scale of 1 to 100, 1 is the smartest decision you can make, 100 the dumbest. I think this is somewhere in the 80s.
Wow, that's very high. No, I would say it's probably in the low 60s.
She's co-captain.
I get that, but also what did she
in a must-win? If you lose, it's your fault.
But you can't. You're not losing to Portugal. I'm
so
operating.
Then start her and take her out early,
which I'm fine with. I'm like, argue with Charlie, not me.
Damn, Charlie, Christian,
right now, call.
Get Charlie here so you can yell at him.
Yeah, Christian, what time do you drive to Boston? What change would you make? Give me one change from the lineup that you would make. And I'll say this, not only can you replace a player, but you could switch a position at the same time.
Okay, if it was me,
then that allows me to make the decision.
Yeah, Roosevelt starting in place of Savannah DeMello. And I would even, I don't know, I feel like even the formation, like maybe sit Andy Sullivan, but for who exactly? I mean, I got to look at the rest of the roster and just to
me, it's very simple. I think I trust Julie Ertz as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
More than I'm currently trusting Andy Sullivan, who I think is an incredible defensive midfielder. But I think what she gives you is what you've seen so far, which is she does one thing, she does it very well. But right now, I think Julie Ertz, move her up, bring in an actual center back. And I
Al-
know
Alana Cook.
Get Alana Cook in there. I know she hasn't looked incredible in the opportunity she's been given, but we shouldn't have left it this late to develop a partnership with Naomi Girma. But get her in there, get her Naomi Girma and Julie Ertz, and let Julie Ertz slide back a little bit and really protect that back line. Almost be a three person back line, while Emily Fox is not too far up, but definitely further up, and Crystal Dunn is further up. So that Sophia Smith can tuck in, Lindsay Horan can kind of swap spots and be a bit more central. If I could make one more change, I would also get Rose Lavelle in there for Savannah DeMello. But to me, that is second to getting that back line a bit more reassured.
Yeah.
Where Julius can still potentially stay there, but it's with three people as opposed to just two with Andy Sullivan in front of him.
Right. I would love to see Sofia Huerta in place of Emily Fox.
I wouldn't hate that either.
I think because in the two games, I think Emily's a better defender, but Sofia Huerta offers just unbelievable passes, great crosses, and we've seen that often when she plays for the Reign. And that was my frustration with Netherlands. I thought Emily Fox did a great job defensively, but then just moving the ball forward, you saw hesitations.
There is no bridge until Rose Lavelle comes in. There's no bridge to tie to spring the attack.
Yeah.
There's no one to get it forward in a creative or dynamic fashion. There just isn't. I think Lindsay Horan is really good at some of those long balls. She's really good at sort of putting balls into space. I don't know if it doesn't offer the same thing like a Rose Lavelle does,
right,
which is can take on a defender, can take on a midfield, can break lines. I mean, that to me is such a dynamic piece. I think you have to start Rose Lavelle and hope she can give you 60 minutes and then take her out and bring someone in like an Ashley Sanchez or even Sav DeMello if you want.
Yeah, when you have the game kind of more in control and maybe you have a couple goals. Charlie...
You would hope with her and Alex Morgan in, you would hope that there's a chance that they're up by 3 or 4.
I did think Charlie's suggestion about Alyssa Thompson was absurd. I thought that was I think she's very young and doesn't have the experience to be in these big games just yet. I think if she starts in a game this important of someone so young, there's a huge risk. Obviously, she's a quality player, but this is where in my mind, Lynn Williams. I would also maybe instead of Trinity Rodman, maybe Lynn Williams. I did like Charlie's response about or thoughts about just having fresh legs. This tournament is longer. There's a lot more games.
This is the third match. It feels like a weird time to do fresh legs.
I disagree.
Yeah, to me, it's come on, dog. This is a World Cup.
If you were making subs throughout the games, then I would say Morgan, she only played 60,
right, if there
70
was some
minutes.
Type of rotation, you'd be like, it doesn't matter who starts.
But because especially there were none in the last game outside of Rose Lavelle coming in, then that's why I think it's a bigger factor. So in general, subs I think would have improved the game. I don't think we're talking like this if Vlatko makes a couple subs and we're not really questioning what the lineup looks like or what the starting lineup looks like. It's just it's a frustrating kind of situation to be in, this sort of must-win game. But again, they're gonna win. There's just it would just be so insane.
It's dumb to argue this because they're gonna win, but still, it's fun. It's fun to think about.